this isn't just a war on drugs anymore. This is a war on cartels, and the US basically just changed the game. I'm Katarina Schultz. This is Borderland Dispatches, an Ironclad original. Today, we're diving into how the US is directly targeting the Mexican drug cartels, how they've changed the game, and how they are putting the FTO Act to use. Okay, so for the first time, a Mexican woman has been indicted on charges of using material to support a cartel that has been designated as a foreign terrorist organization. This 39-year-old woman was picked up in El Paso. She's a Mexican national, and she's now been charged with drug trafficking, human smuggling, straw buying. Basically, she checked the box for every single criteria to meet aiding a foreign terrorist organization. Now, she's allegedly working for the CJNG, Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación. And obviously, as we know, in January, the US designated 8 different organized crime groups as foreign terrorist organization, basically allowing the DOJ to treat them as terrorists, as terror groups, the same as Al-Qaeda or ISIS. And now this act is actually being put to use. It's important to mention the charges that this woman is facing obviously plays a huge role when it comes to aiding these Mexican cartels. Let's first talk about the straw buying charges. I have reported on this extensively before because the majority of arms that are seized at Mexican crime scenes come from the US. These people, these organized crime groups and the cartels aren't manufacturing and buying guns in Mexico. They're bringing them in from the US. Funny enough, there's actually a narco corrido, a song that talks about guns from Toronto, Canada. It really goes to show that a lot of this violence is basically aided by these arms that are coming in from across the border. And so this is obviously a big case, this indictment against this Mexican woman, because if she was straw buying, and particularly for the CJNG, this is literally a textbook example of someone who is aiding the cartels and a cartel that has been designated as an FTO. Something that I find interesting that I would like to mention is that obviously not all the cartels were designated as FTOs, and there is a chance that there could be a very similar case, a very similar indictment that comes up, but if that person is buying arms or trafficking drugs or people for a cartel that isn't on that list, their indictment and their charges will look very differently. We're obviously going to see this happen with time, and I think that's going to be really interesting, and I wonder what kind of legal precedent that's going to set, or if possibly this list of FTOs is subject to expansion. Now, Mexican officials, Omar Garcia Harfuch, he is, the head of all things national security in Mexico, even confirmed that this woman was arrested. And yes, she did have ties to the CJNG. On a side note, the CJNG right now is, in my opinion, and probably public opinion, the most violent and perhaps powerful cartel in Mexico. Since the infighting began in Sinaloa between the two factions of that cartel, CJNG has really stepped in. Also to mention, there is this, I want to say alleged, but we have this sort of video confirmation of CJNG operatives and the Chapitos, one of the factions of the Sinaloa cartel, acknowledging and confirming that they have now formed an alliance. In terms of what this means for the future, it's obviously very scary. I mean, you don't want to see two of the most powerful cartels in Mexico, who were once rivals, first of all, coming together now to control the drug trade, human smuggling, and basically put two extremely violent letterheads together and allow them to gain control of all of these regions that they previously had respective control of.